Hello, and welcome to the Community IT Innovators Technology Topics Podcast, where we discuss nonprofit technology, cybersecurity, tech project implementation, strategic planning, and nonprofit IT careers. Find us at communityit.com.
Say welcome everyone to the Community IT Innovators Voices series. My name is Carolyn Woodard and I'm your host. So Tiff, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Tiff Parker. I'm an IT business manager here at Community IT, and I work with a portfolio of clients to help them with strategy, budgeting, road mapping, projects, service delivery, etc. So happy to be here.
That was a great explanation of what an IT business manager does. It's sometimes a little bit difficult to explain because it's a position that really only exists at Community IT. And I always say it's kind of like an account manager, but so much more. And you joined Community IT as an ITBM. So what was that like?
So I've been here for about a year and a half now, joined in October 2023. I'm really excited to be here because I get to kind of apply my strategic knowledge and my prior experience working in nonprofits and also my technical skills to really help deliver value for our clients and help them get to where they want to be with their technology.
So if I can ask, where did you acquire those technology skills in your career?
So I started as, I guess, what you could call like an accidental techie. That term's been thrown around a lot. My background is actually in geographic information systems and mapping, but I ended up working at a nonprofit, doing some internship for mapping, and I had a really great mentor that really was like, "Hey, I think you'd really be good at this technology stuff." So started to train me up in there. I got some practical real world experience there. But then I also connected with the broader nonprofit technology community. N10, the Nonprofit Technology Network, is one group that I really connected with. They had a lot of really great resources that I could kind of take advantage of, learn about technology, but also from the unique position of nonprofits. From there, just kind of developed, continued my nonprofit tech career, working my way up to as an IT director. And then I joined Community IT.
So perfect background, but it's so interesting that I think we do have several people at Community IT who didn't study computer science and didn't start out with, I'm going to be a technology person and get all the certificates and end up working for nonprofits. A lot of people, I think, came into it the way you did, of just having an affinity for it and being in a situation where you could learn more about how technology and nonprofits work.
Yeah, and definitely. And over the course of time, I kind of moved from being an accidental techie to being that more intentional techie. So kind of working on really beefing up my knowledge and background and my technical skills.
I wanted to ask about that because I do feel like, several years ago, maybe a decade or two ago, when I was starting, accidental techie really was what a lot of nonprofits were relying on to be able to have a website, have an online presence, be on social media. And then it kind of also, those people ended up often taking over IT at the nonprofit, which is a very different type of skill set. So can you talk a little bit about that? You said you started out with the geospatial mapping, but how do you learn the IT administration and maintenance, for email and document storage and all the kind of not exciting parts of IT that we do the support for?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as the role of technology in nonprofits has grown over time, the usage of it, I think the importance of it, it's not it's not just a thing that you have to have. It's actually like strategically important and, pretty mission critical if you're going to be successful. So, so I was lucky to work with a nonprofit that really prioritized technology during those years. And so, kind of getting in there and, we always joke in nonprofits, we wear many hats. So, being able to kind of just dig in there and figure things out. Because a lot of nonprofits, they can't afford to just have a dedicated technology professional. So we're really relying on people that want to step up and learn those systems. So I think for me, it was kind of a right place, right time kind of situation. And then, like I said, just looked for training opportunities and other educational opportunities to really fill in those technical skills.
And then one thing that the IT business managers also bring to the table, as you were saying, was the more strategic thinking and maybe a little bit more even business experience. Or as you said, you were an IT director, so you know about the budget, how to reconcile the IT that your nonprofit needs with what you can afford. So can you talk a little bit about that? How do you get that kind of experience?
Yeah, I think really it's just important being inside of a nonprofit and really understanding how, because they're very unique entities. You have a fundraising department, and communications, your operations. So really just kind of getting experience to see how all of that works together and how technology supports all of those functions. And then so after some experience with that, I think kind of marrying the knowledge of nonprofits with technology and those technical skills, that's where it all kind of comes together.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And that, feel like that is something that community IT, because we have only worked with nonprofits our entire existence as a company, we have gotten to know really well all of those constraints, like the fundraising, the budgeting, the strategic planning. So we can really help nonprofits from that standpoint. And you were just such a great addition to the team of having that deep background in nonprofits before you joined us.
Yeah, and also finding those opportunities to save money is also critical too. So all of the software donations, the discounts, those grant programs are also really critical to really getting those technology initiatives moving forward.
I think so. And I think compared to other managed services providers that maybe don't work with a lot of nonprofits, or maybe it's a larger organization and they have like a couple of people on their team who have some expertise in nonprofits, but it can be really hard for them to understand, why can't you just buy this? Why can't you just do this thing that I'm telling you you need to invest in? It's like, well, we're a nonprofit. We have these other responsibilities and constraints as well. So that can make it challenging. But I think nonprofits also often find like just these unique workarounds or opportunities where they can make that investment and do something maybe that is going to help them in the end.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think there's a general thing of how do you do more with less. And so being creative and using the tools that that you have access to, and really also making sure that you're making intentional decisions around technology. Because again, there's also frequently like different organizational priorities, and technology projects can be they can be org wide. And so really bringing everybody together and kind of getting them behind that vision of the future, I think is also really critical.
No, for sure. Do you have any advice for nonprofits in this challenging time that we're facing right now? If you had a new client coming to you tomorrow, do you have two or three things that you would tell them you want to make sure you have in order as we're, planning for IT and implementing IT?
Yeah, I think with all of the current funding constraints that are happening right now, I think it's really critical to take a look at where you are currently spending. Are there services that are duplicative that you can maybe consolidate upon? Are there other alternatives that you can look into? So that would be my first one is like, what can we consolidate? We've got like 3 different meeting softwares. Can we, pick one and standardize on it? So I think that's a really big opportunity. And then with those savings, if you're able to redeploy those kind of really focusing on cybersecurity at this point right now too. I think that would also be a big recommendation as well.
That's great to hear. And I know sometimes we have clients who come to us with even they're paying for licenses for people who've left the company who aren't employed anymore. And it's so looking for those types of savings as well, just making sure that do an audit, do an assessment, and make sure that the tech that you're paying for is the tech that you're using.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your background? I know a lot of people who work at Community IT, as you said, kind of fell into this type of a job. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, that kind of changed over the course of time, but when I was in college, I finally settled on, like I mentioned, geographic information systems. So I was planning on going into like natural resource management, specifically like spatial analysis, that type of field. So I think that also really helped with those transferable skills into my new role in technology. So being kind of analytical, being able to kind of see the big picture, but also drill down into the little picture as well on the ground, on the ground level. So, but yeah, I was originally going to go into environmental mapping specifically.
Well, I'm so glad you're at Community IT. I already said that, what an IT business manager does can be hard to explain because it's something that we've created because we saw a need with our clients that we needed to have someone who could talk about the technology and the business needs. The community IT itself can be a little bit hard to explain. So if you're in an elevator or at a cocktail party and someone asks you what you do, what do you tell them?
I basically tell them I am an IT consultant that works specifically with nonprofits to help them leverage technology to meet their mission.
And what's the best thing about your job?
I really love working with the clients. I've got like a wide variety, all different sizes, different areas that they focus in. So I really enjoy working with the clients and seeing, I might see their name pop up in the news and say like, oh, hey, I'm helping them with their technology, So it's that nice connecting feeling of I'm helping other people accomplish their great work.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Tiff. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, sure thing.
Community IT does these free webinars and podcasts for our community, and we love sharing our knowledge and experience. If you have more questions or are having trouble with your IT at your nonprofit, please get in touch with us on our website, www.communityit.com, so we can start a conversation or schedule an assessment. Downloading any of our free resources there will get you signed up for our webinar reminders, and you can attend our next webinar in real time and ask our experts your own questions. If you love podcasts, please subscribe and leave us a rating to help others find this leadership resource for nonprofits.